Back with me is Damon Vickers, Managing Director of 9 Points Capital Partner, and novelist Brad Thor, who also was part of wargaming with the federal government. And you did this particular kind of issue of civil unrest.
We did all kinds of stuff. There were concerns about, it was focused on terrorism and any kind of terrorism, be that from outside or inside the country.
Okay. You were just saying in the break that we are in a place where the government, what, 2 years ago?
2 years ago, there was a report produced by the U.S. Army War College's Strategic Institute that warned that the United States may experience massive civil unrest in the wake of a series of crises which they labeled strategic shocks.
What is strategic shocks?
It's the known unknown. 9/11 was a strategic shock. The collapse of the economy could be another strategic shock. And right about the time that they were talking about this, the managing director of the IMF came out and said that we could experience widespread civil unrest around the world if we don't course correct where we're going financially.
Okay. See, I don't think that the American people panic. We didn't panic after 9/11. But when you have global meltdown, and then you have the forces moving into a new world order, and you have power taken from people and their money, especially now in this atmosphere, we started seeing it under the Bush administration, where people like me in, 2004 started waking up going, wait, something's wrong here. And you're just seeing it. It's like a puppet show. You're watching a puppet show. If you put strategic troops around the country, you'd have a lot of people now in America saying, I don't trust the government. The average American, I don't think, is the kind that goes out and riots in the streets.
No, absolutely.
However, there are those that do. They plan on it.
Absolutely. And that's with the book, The Coming Insurrection, that you and I have been talking about for over a year now. One of the things they encourage their members to do, these are these communists, it's a weird kind of anarchist.
It's anarchist, yeah.
Yeah,
communist.
They hope to bring the utopia afterwards. But the idea is to destroy capitalism from within a country. So you weaken it, you flood it, you do the Cloward pivot, and you overwhelm it. And then you wait. You wait for the right moment. You take advantage of a 9/11 or a big downturn in the financial markets, and that's when you hit. And from The Coming Insurrection, you go to the ABCs of Revolution manual, which is another book that you have there, and that's where it gets scary, because these...
Explain what's in it.
It is all about the way to do it. It is a take no prisoners, kill all the hostages, go into neighborhoods, burn them to the ground, particularly focus on the churches and places of worship, so people have no place to go for spiritual refuge and guidance in this time. But they are encouraging people, IEDs, car bombs,
Brad, you have wargamed. You have written novels for, your job as a novelist is to come up with spooky scenarios. I have to tell you, when I first read this, I read this about 2 years ago. When I first read this is the spookiest damn book I've ever read. This is 2 years ago. I've read worse now. But I read this, and it really is. It is destroy anything good. It's evil. It's evil.
If anybody wavers in your organization, you kill them.
You kill them.
Absolutely, without hesitation.
Some members of the Invisible Committee that wrote this book went to jail in Europe.
Correct, in France.
Any doubt that this is what's happening now? The seeds have been sown all over Europe, and they are here.
Oh, it's a hugely popular book with the anarchist community here in North America. You bet. And that's what we need to be very, very concerned about.
Okay. Next, maybe we'll spend a little time on what can you do to make sure that you're a positive impact. Back in a second. Let me just ask the audience this. We were talking in the break that I said, Americans accept tragedies, Americans accept war, they accept, hurricanes and everything else, but they won't accept a total meltdown of our system. And then the people at, the Wall Street or giant global corporations that don't care about anything, the government, labor unions, and everybody else that they see as like part of the problem, they won't accept, okay, now here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to be a new world order. We're going to push it up into a bigger structure. Nobody would accept that. But you wouldn't turn on your neighbors. But you would say, no to that. Am I right or wrong on that? Right? You'd help each other. You'd help neighbors out. Now, here's the problem. If this happens, the forces are trying to get us to turn on each other. So let me ask both of you, and Damon, let me start with you. What does the average person do? You wrote this book for a reason. What do you do with this information besides go home and go, oh my gosh, what do you do to be a positive force?
Well, you know, you're driving a car, and you know the car is headed for the embankment. The kids are in the back. You know it can be really bad. You're headed for something very horrific. You could look away, you know, pretend it's not happening, or you could take command of the wheel and do your best to control the crash. And so,
isn't that what George Soros says he's doing? A controlled.
George Soros is an opportunist, a runner of funds, and he might like to make some money from it.
No, no, that's not you, George. You're much worse.
We have with tremendous pain and suffering and social pain. You have the environment towards things could perhaps go towards the way we're discussing with the global insurrection, where they'd like to see it.
Right.
You also have the possibility from that type of an unrest and social despair of moving towards, from disorganization, which we are right now, towards potentially even fascism, which is what we saw in the Second World War.
But don't you also have...
I hope that we don't pick either. And I would say that in spite of the fact of a new world order being potentially a scary thing, that there's a growing awareness that all of us are a part of one planet and one community, and that we're moving towards oneness, whether it's Facebook or whether it's that society wants to be closer with one another.
I don't, and I believe in American exceptionalism.
And that we have the opportunity to now, to begin to decide, to making the decisions and putting about in place what we want that world to look like. Now.
I don't think, because I think that is too, this thing breaks down, you're not going to be able to put it together without fascism or communism in a global community, but you can piece it back together in small communities where small communities choose to do that and live that.
This is people coming together. Though.
Yes, but in small communities, not a global framework.
Not the government.
Yeah.
But people.
Correct. I agree with that. You still don't agree with that?
Well, no, I agree within the context of America and what makes America great and why American exceptionalism exists. I mean, it's something that's incredibly important for the rest of the world to follow us, not for us to be part of some one world, new world order.
But I don't think. But I think, Brad, if you're talking about, if I'm on the same page with you guys, you're talking about flag don't mean nothing, Jack. Nothing means anything anymore. You got to start. Am I wrong, Damon? That's what you're talking about, right? Nothing means anything anymore. There is nothing of value. You got to start from scratch.
I think you have a global reset, but I would argue that everything has value. That all cultures,
no. What I'm saying is that you have to start from the beginning. You're starting at ground zero. You have the opportunity to start all over again. It's not like you're going to pick up your phone and your phone's going to work because the telephone company's no longer working. Right. So if you have that zero reset,
if we're talking
you go back to
event,
you go to almost a tribal community.
And that's where you start. But what are your values and principles going to be? What is your base going to be? Where do you start from? And for me, I start from all those things that have made America great, and I start it in my community and I work it out from there. That's how I do it.
Right.
You know, we're worried about the depreciation of the dollar, the collapse of the dollar, but the common currency, the common thread, the common thing that we all share on this planet that is above all value of all things is faith, is courage, is love. And a new era could emerge from this that could be positive beyond all our wildest imaginings.
I have to tell you that rings true to me. I think what is coming, do I have another break or is this it? Wow, I've got a profound thought and I've got like 10 seconds. I think that's what I feel inside. What is coming is profound. And it will either be profound global slavery, profound darkness, or profound goodness. And it is up to us to choose. But it will require you to exercise your spirit, exercise your mind, now exercise your body. Get into shape. Because you're going to be the leader. You're the leader. It's up to you which direction we go. Back in a minute. From New York, good night, America.